Samantha Mason, welcome to Marketing Girly.
Hi, Natalie. It's so nice to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on. I had Sam on. We were just talking about this about 2 years ago when she was working at Erewhon, which is such a long time ago, and so much has happened. So I'm excited to have you on and in person. Samantha is the founder of Mason Market, which is her own brand marketing and events brand where she helps brands with CPG and works with so many amazing brands like Gorgie and so many others that we'll get to talk about today. So much to dive into and excited to have you on.
Yes, I can't believe it's been 2 years since our last
I
recording, and
know.
I can just picture that moment now. I was in my room. It was 7 a.m. because I was in LA, you were in Austin, and we were recording over video. And it's just so wild how now you have this beautiful setup. And I can't wait to dive in to see where we're at now and all the growth that's happened and all the craziness that's happened in the last 2 years.
Yes, it has been. That is so crazy. It was 2 years ago.
Exactly 2 years. It was February 2024.
Oh my goodness. And I also remember you and I were both talking about how one of our goals was to create more content. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember
Yes,
we were
yes.
both talking
And
about that.
holding each other accountable because it's
Yes.
something that really does take such discipline and not overthinking and just doing it, just staying consistent and just posting.
And also, Sam is amazing at creating content. You are so aesthetic. You guys all need to follow her on Instagram. Every time I see one
Thank
of your
you.
stories, I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's so fun, and it's just doing what feels natural and just having fun with it, whether it's like food, your favorite restaurants, coffee, or work related or friends. It's just posting and keeping it consistent and fun.
Yeah. And yeah, you are honestly so great. I feel like I'm always getting inspo from
Thank
you.
you.
And Sam does a lot within the health and wellness space. I also know that's a personal passion
Mhm.
of yours as well, aside
Yep.
from your career, which we're definitely going to dive into that career journey. But Sam also has Hype Girl Club, which is something that she started. Do you want to tell us about that?
Absolutely. So, Hype Girl Club, I think when we spoke last time, 2 years ago, I was building it. I was only a year or not even a year in. And the beauty behind Hype Girl Club is it happened fully organically. A small group of my friends, like three of us, met for coffee on a Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. for a coffee and walk before we started our day and started work. And every week, everyone was like, can I invite my friend? Can I bring this person? And one day there was like 20 girls at Cafe Lux in Santa Monica. And so I really saw how important everyone was craving that connection and community. And I coined the term Hype Girl Club because that's when the Hot Girl Walk was happening in the movement. And since then, it's really grown to thousands of girls building up events for community and bringing in brands. And it's been so amazing to see the growth that's happened.
That is so cool. I
Mhm.
think all of us wish we had a Hype Girl Club in our city. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah, and hopefully we'll
in
we'll come
Austin.
to Austin and have events and partner
Yeah.
up. But it's been amazing to see the growth of it. And it's
Mhm.
now I have a group chat of like 35 girls, and I'm gonna expand into different ways to have hundreds of girls in that chat, but everyone's asking, what's the best coffee spot? What's your favorite hair place? Like your nail salon, like all the different recs. So it's this amazing group of girls that you can just rely on and trust for all the best recs. Hmm.
Amazing. Okay, and your one of your specialties is also curating events. I obviously again you do that within your career, but also you're doing it for Hype Girl Club. I'm curious when you were starting this and you were looking at building events, do you have any advice for maybe somebody who wants to do something even like on a small scale in their city or wants to potentially do events freelance? Like how do you go about approaching starting or kind of getting your first one off the ground?
So for events, the biggest thing is what's your why? Like, what do you want everyone to feel and experience at this in-person event? So digital world is taking over, but that's why events and in-person experiences are so memorable. So how do you want everyone to feel when they show up?
Mhm.
And the biggest thing and hurdle is the venue, and is there budget around it? Do you want to negotiate for a space to see, hey, like we're going to have all this you know this big group of girls there, whether they're micro influencers or just community driven. There's so much value for the venue. You're bringing those people and that magic to the space. Maybe they'll offer the venue for totally in kind. And so it's figuring out that plan. Like, are you going to be building up content for them? Are you going to tag them? So it's really being strategic and working with the venue and the space. And then from there, are you curating gift bags with all your favorite brands and products? Are you going to do an activity? Are you walking? Figuring out the program of the event, and then just remember the why of why you want to host the event.
I love that. I also love how you mentioned that you can work with venues
Mm-hmm.
in a collaborative way. It doesn't always need to be that
Totally.
you're paying for a venue because
Mhm.
you are adding value, like by bringing all of these, women that
Totally.
could
Yeah.
potentially be future customers of the venue. That I will post about it on social for Sky Society when we do our events in Austin. We also do the same thing where we pitch to the venue, but we always are keeping in mind how it's a value for them. Like obviously we want it for our
100%.
reasons, but
Mhm.
how can we really position it to be like, hey, this is going to be really great for you because of XYZ.
Yep. Nailed it.
Amazing. Okay, so let's rewind back to where we started when you last came on Marketing Girly 2 years ago. You were working at Erewhon in brand. If you want to give the audience like a little reminder of what you were doing at Erewhon and then next steps after that.
I mean, Erewhon, if you know of Erewhon, it's just such an iconic brand. And even since I left 2 years ago, the growth is so insane. So every single day, I'm so fortunate for my experience there. I started on the social digital team, curating all the content, all the smoothie collabs, and really being in stores and connecting with the store teams and our culinary team that really brings everything to life. And then my role transitioned into the brand partnerships and events on the storefront. So really working for the membership side and curating all the different brand partners and perks. If you're a member, you get 30 plus amazing offers, and you also get all these in-person experiences like Open in Venice or APL and all these amazing brand partnerships. So I am a people person, and my most prized possession is truly my relationships. So really capitalizing on those, and I still am really close with the team, really close with a lot of the brands that I worked with. So it's really amazing to see the growth that has happened since then.
That is so crazy.
Mhm.
And I think most people probably know of Erewhon's smoothies.
Yeah.
At least the girlies listening to this episode,
Yeah.
you've known or you tried an Erewhon smoothie.
Mhm.
And you were kind of working there when that really started to take
Totally.
off.
Yep.
What was it like kind of having a grocery store go viral for a smoothie?
Yeah, it's so insane to think about that at the end of the day, Erewhon is a grocery store, and it's really setting the tone for so many brands and what's possible and thinking outside of the box. Like, it's amazing in colleges and schools, they're using Erewhon as a case study of what's possible. So, whether we're having photo shoots in the aisles of Erewhon or, bringing in these insane talent in creatives, all for a smoothie. It's pretty insane. Like everything from the design of the smoothie to what it tastes like to what it feels like. There's so much production that goes into it. So it's so cool to see like behind the scenes and then have the rest of the world see it once the campaign goes live.
Why do you think the smoothies at Erewhon went so viral? Like there's smoothies everywhere. Why do you
Mhm.
think, I'm even curious, or I don't even know if there's a perfect answer to it, but why did the Erewhon smoothies go as viral as they did?
I think because it's tied to someone's favorite artist or someone's favorite actress or whoever it is, and it's a limited time. So when things are a limited edition, it curates this need to want it more. It's like a desire, like I must have it. And what's amazing now is the team has launched the ability to order smoothies if you're not in LA. So in case you don't know, you can now order Erewhon smoothies.
Yes, one of my friends did that. She got the
Yeah.
smoothie shipped to Austin.
It's insane. Like in even just thinking through the design of what's possible to ship that, it's insane. So definitely order your Erewhon smoothies if you don't live in LA.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so you get your start. Is this kind of where your start for brand partnerships kind of came about?
Yeah, definitely. It grew through Erewhon, and then before then, I was working at a marketing agency here in LA. It was experiential, so we were working with all sorts of brands too, and that's how I got connected to the Erewhon team. We were working with Revolve Fest and a lot of different festival experiences, and so that's really what started it. And through that, I met the Erewhon team, and then it's just grown since.
What do you think is your biggest personal or career lesson that you learned during your time in Erewhon?
That's a great question. It's really about, I'll tie it back into relationships. It's a small world and your reputation does matter. So, really showing up the best that you can and trying your hardest. And if you don't have an answer, it's okay, but just do your best to figure it out and use your resources around you. And I was so fortunate to have an amazing leader, Vito, who really guided me. And I look up to him so much. He's incredible in the space and he's really built out a lot of the growth with Erewhon and created the smoothie program. So it's pretty impressive to have really amazing supporters around you and people you look up to.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then you moved on to Remedy Place. Tell me a bit about your decision to leave Erewhon and take that next step in your career.
Ooh, that's another great question. It's really, I think it comes down to it's not an easy decision, but it's having a check-in with yourself. Am I moving in the direction that I want to go? Is what I'm doing now, whether it's at this company or with this team, like, is it getting you where you want to go? Like, are you growing in this role or with this company? And it's a risk. It really can be. And I learned that. I left to go to Remedy Place, and then very shortly after, a couple months in, they had a huge round of layoffs. And
it's even like giving me chills when you're telling me that, because I can only imagine leaving. I'm sure you loved working at Erewhon, like leaving
absolutely.
a brand and company that you loved,
Mm-hmm.
taking a risk in your career, and then
Erewhon, the Isles of Erewhon is like my therapy. It still is. And so taking that leap of faith and knowing that it is risky, and I got laid off. So it's really about knowing how to pivot. And then I had a meeting set up with Girly, which is a healthy energy drink. And the day before, I actually ended up getting laid off. The whole team did. So I already had this meeting set up with Girly the next day. And I met with them and I said, well, actually, I have a lot more free time now as I just got laid off. And since then, I worked with them immediately all of last year.
What a crazy timing. Like
Yeah.
obviously that was terrible that got laid off, but do you believe in that? Like maybe that was meant to be because then you got that next opportunity.
Absolutely.
That is so crazy. I am familiar with Girly, honestly, because of you and following you on social.
You.
But I also
that means I'm doing a great job.
You're doing a great job. That's how I learned about the brand. But I know my friends have known about it, and I also know that Alex Earl just invested in the brand as well, which I'm sure brought it a lot more attention.
Absolutely. It's insane for the brand. And I think there's so much alignment there. So I can't wait to see all the growth that happens. I think Alex Earl is going to bring so much value to the brand.
Yeah, that'll be really fun to see. I'm even curious to see what that looks into, because we're kind of watching her start to make her own investments in other brands. So very cool to keep an eye out. So take me back to, you make this move over to a new company. You get laid off. The next day you show up to that meeting with Girly, and obviously that turns into something a little bit bigger than you imagined. Can you talk to me about what was your kind of like start with them? Like, what were you helping them with?
It was dive in, moving a million miles an hour. The team was still tiny but mighty, and there was a few of us in LA and a few others across in other cities. So the focus was really building up the LA efforts. We were doing up to 50 events a week all over,
50
pop-ups. So
week?
that included even just seating and gifting events.
Wow,
So it was incredible to be a part of it. And the brand is moving at a rapid speed, launching new flavors, just launched a new protein flavor. So it was amazing to be a part of that growth and building experiences in Miami for Swim Week and building up tennis events here in LA, and you name it, and everything in between. So it was full force and so cool. I'm so passionate about new brands and connecting with founders and their why of why they created it. And so really working closely with the founder and learning her why, it's just so cool and so valuable to be a part of that experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm also curious for you because the events, like obviously a brand choosing to put their marketing budget in events is a decision, right? They could put that money anywhere that they want to. So why do you think brands are investing in, like you said, 50 activations a week?
So that big question, budget, that's always a hurdle. And it really takes a team and a founder to believe in your why. Like, why do you want to hire me? Why do you want to hire anyone else on the team, whether it's a freelance role or, you're in-house with them? It's so valuable to have your why. And with marketing, as you know, it can be tricky to have specific data or stats or ROI. And it's really choosing brands that believe in you and see the why. Like, marketing is so important to create that experience on the digital side through content and influencer marketing, but also having it connect with in-person experiences, because your customers, your community, that's how they're going to remember you. If it's a product like Gorgy, they're going to remember the taste. How does it make you feel? It's energy backed. It has L-theanine. It's going to make you feel a type of way. So it's really having that experience and remembering why you're doing it, and have that customer leave and say, I need more of that product. And I remember it from this in-person experience.
Okay, so kind of going into that community
Mm-hmm.
element as well for
Mm-hmm.
investing in those in-person
Mm-hmm.
experiences, I can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I mentioned that Sam's always posting the most aesthetic stuff on her stories.
Thank you.
Also, the activation's so cute, so aesthetic. I'm sure it's a team effort for a lot of those. When it comes to you and your approach to planning and activation, how do you, like, where do you start with an idea? It's like, okay, we want to do a bunch of things. Like, how do you start coming up with ideas and executing them?
As you know, it takes an army. It really does. And right now, it's been such a learning experience for me to figure out. For me, number one is definitely you have to be hyper organized. You have to have systems in place that really support you. You're working with multiple, if you're fully freelance or have your own company or agency, even if you are in-house somewhere, like, organization is so key in having the tools that you can really rely on. And in a creative role, like, you have to have designated time where you're not worrying about to-do lists, you're not worrying about deadlines. You have to have that headspace where you can be really creative. Pinterest is the best thing in the world. Social media now with Chat GPT, it's really learning and tapping into all those resources and what it can provide for us. So I think, even going on a walk, like being in nature, find what works for you and stick to that, to have that creative outlet. And when you're building concepts for an event, it's mood boards, mood boards, mood boards for days. And just talking with everyone around you to see, like, hey, I have this idea, like, I'm creating a tennis event, like, what works and what doesn't. But just remembering that if you have one idea and the client hates it, like, it's okay to pivot. Like, it's not the end of the world. There's so much inspo out there. It's just finding what sticks. And if it doesn't, it's okay. Just know that you can still pivot and figuring out a plan B, C, D until something works.
Love it. Okay, this might be a silly question, but what do you...
I love silly questions. Let's hear it.
Okay, what are you searching on Pinterest to find the best inspo? Or what are your hacks? Because honestly, it's become one of my more used social platforms lately, especially right now. The TikTok algorithm is like, it's having its issues. So I've been on Pinterest more. What are you searching? I need to know.
Great question. So I read somewhere a long time ago, when you add the word aesthetic on the end of your search, like, let's just say we're building the set for today. Like, we're having a marketing girly podcast. Like, what's the vibe? What kind of coffee table do we want to have? Like, set the scene and then add the word aesthetic at the end of it, and it'll bring more inspo versus actual, like, products or more salesy images. It'll actually create more of a mood and aesthetic and color palette, whatever it is adding that keyword aesthetic on the end.
I love that.
Let me know how it goes.
I'm going to try that. And then do you start, so let's say we're in the studio. So you're searching like podcast aesthetic and you're finding some stuff. Do you then, because sometimes I'll save things to boards, and then do you just like go off those recommendations, or do you find that your feed just kind of starts to get curated?
Definitely both. I create specific boards that you can save and refer back to and just add as you go. And then once you start to pull that inspo, your feed, it's just like Instagram or TikTok, your feed will start to push similar products and images.
Okay. And then are you when it comes to like actually building a mood board for an event, are you a print it out, or are you a keep it digital?
Both.
Okay.
I have it on my phone. Like, I'll do a screenshot and add it on my phone. And then I have a huge pop-up tomorrow in Venice, and I ordered us little boards to print out all the instructions for the brand ambassadors and any checklist that we have, so we can have a tangible copy and just check cross-check everything so it's right in front of us because I'm definitely a visual person.
I love that. I also love the satisfaction of physically crossing something
It's
off a
so
checklist.
satisfying.
There's nothing better.
And I also use my notes like a psycho person. If it's not in my notes or if it's not on my calendar, like it's not happening. Like I have to get it out of my brain. Even like scheduling your workouts or scheduling a walk or whatever it is, whether it's work related or personal, I have to have it in my calendar or my notes.
I am the same
Mhm.
exact way. And anytime my friends and I are hanging out, one of us is setting a calendar invite. And if
same.
there's not a calendar invite, we're not going.
It's not happening. Like it's just not happening.
And it's funny when you're trying to plan things with people that
Mhm.
aren't psycho like that. And they're
Mhm.
like, what do you mean?
They're like, why'd you send this calendar invite, weirdo?
Yes. But I love it. I'm the same way. It needs to be on my calendar. I need to see it or else I'm forgetting about it.
Same.
Yeah. Okay. So you get this amazing opportunity with a perfect timing to start going. I know you were doing maybe some freelance before, but you're going full in on it.
Mhm.
And now you just let me know you're starting Mason Market,
Yes.
which I love.
It's been such a journey. So the last year, so all of 2025, I was fully working for myself and learning so much. Every day was a new learning experience from the universe. And like I didn't learn anything about financials or having an LLC or a DBA or setting up yourself for success. Like that's not something I learned in school. And I don't think that's something we are really taught. So it was a lot of trial and error. So really setting that foundation for yourself is so important. And I'll tie it back into Chat GPT. I swear, like Chat is my girl. And it's really just using that as a resource. And so navigating the past year, I'm now in a place where I'm like, I need to have full branding. And I landed on Mason Market. My last name is
I love the
Mason.
name.
And market ties into marketing, of course, and being with Erewhon and my love and passion for CPG brands and food and drink. It just all feels so right. So I can't wait to share it with everyone and see it come to life.
That is so exciting.
Thank you.
And congratulations. That's huge.
Thank you.
Now, I know a lot of marketing girlies listening are really attracted to the freelance, like the ability to go fully freelance. I'm obviously there's pros and cons. There's a lot of scariness that comes with it. I know you mentioned that there were definitely things like learning finances. Even for me with my own business, I'm
still learning.
Yes, I studied finance in college,
Yeah.
and I'm still learning because there's so many things like. And honestly,
it never ends.
I will say ChatGPT, because I didn't have ChatGPT when I started Sky Society.
Same.
And it would have been so helpful for at least like the legal, the finance, all of that technical stuff. So like Chat is definitely our girl,
Best
which I
friend.
love. Best friend. What were some other challenges that you faced along the way or kind of lessons that you had to learn working fully on your own?
That's a laundry list of items. But I would say just being hyper organized and everything from a proposal and knowing what you want to offer, getting super clear, because my career journey has been all over, whether it's influencer marketing, doing in-person experiences and experiential side, content. There's so many different things that I've experienced and different roles I've taken on. So it's really getting clear on what you offer and being really confident with that. Because if things are unclear, it's just a little confusing. So getting really clear on that, and that will build up your confidence when you are pitching yourself to brands. And it's been such a gift because I haven't promoted any of my services. It's all been through word of mouth. So I've been so grateful for that. And I can't wait to see what happens when I publicly announce Mason Market and all my services. And building up my team. That's what I'm so excited about.
Oh my gosh. Have you started hiring yet?
I have an assistant with me now that's been such a help. And I think that's also a big lesson is knowing you can figure it out on your own, but knowing when you're in a place that it's time to bring on other people for support and help. Because that's only going to make you better and make you grow to have the capacity to bring on new brands and new clients.
100%. That has also been a lesson that everyone tells this, like you need to hire faster than you think you do as a founder.
Yeah.
And it's always so scary because that's
It is.
I even think that somebody's like you're responsible for their paycheck, how they pay their, their rent, their food, like all of those things. And that's a big
their
decision
livelihood.
to make. Exactly. It's a big responsibility. But every single time I made a hire, oh my gosh, the company has grown so much from it. And it's just that like fear of like, okay, oh my gosh, is it time to do it? But every single time, I'm sure that's freed up your time so you can work on things that are more important or more directly correlated to growth. And also having somebody else that's working on your brand just as much as you
Mhm.
are, or like is just as passionate, is such an unlock for growth.
Exactly. And it's so fulfilling to be a mentee. That's been so fulfilling for me personally in having a mentor. So it works both ways. Is we're always learning, like life will always show us different uh trials and journeys that we need to go on to learn, and we're never too old. Like life is such a journey. It's a school and it never ends. So really showing up as the mentee but also having that mentor that we look up to is really key.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Okay, I want to talk about some of the fun stuff you're working on because I truly do think that your job is so much fun. And I know something you talked about is that you're working on planning a ski trip.
Yes,
Can you tell me about
I've
that?
been planning the last couple months for a big brand, and it's in Park City. So ski season is here, and it's been such a process working with the client and then the agency to really bring this to life. It's been so cool, and we're leaving in a couple weeks. I can't believe it's already
Oh my
here.
gosh.
So we're going for 3 days to Park City and having all custom branded ski suits, gifting, everything in the rooms, and really curating that experience. And working with the hotels has been so fun to create such an impactful and fun experience for all the influencers coming.
Isn't that crazy that it
Hmm.
takes 3 months to plan a 3-day
It's
trip?
insane. Like honestly, ideally it would take like 6 months to have that runway, but you make it happen whether you have like 3 months or 3 weeks. It's pretty
Mhm.
impressive with a team there to support you, what you can create.
Yeah, okay. I'm excited to see that. For somebody that is thinking like, "Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun to
Mhm.
be able to be planning these things for brands, working on the activation side." What are some I know you mentioned organization is really
Mhm.
important, but is there anything else you can share with us on in terms of your process or in terms of somebody who is like, "I would love to do that with my career someday. How can I get started?"
Yeah, I think it all ties back into the program and what you want to create, like your why. So for this, of course, it's all praise ski experience. So coming down to 3 locations. So we were reviewing Park City, Lake Tahoe, or Montana. So from there, you have your three places where you want to go, and then figuring out timeline, like when you want to go, ideally working with doing market research of all the different hotels. Like, does the client want a more high-end experience or more middle tier? And then from there you can know, okay, these are the hotels that fit that. And then all the different restaurants and working with them on private menus, tablescapes, rentals, and all those different little details and different itineraries to make sure that you are really the curator of the experience. So making sure you know the itinerary in and out, whether that's all the talents, flights, when they're arriving, all those little details, and just being hyper organized, as I say, creating run of shows, creating work back schedules, all those little things. Communication is key, and over communication is essential.
Are there mistakes that you've made planning previous brand trips that now change how you do
Of
current and
course.
future brand trips?
Of course.
Any that you can
Absolutely. And
share?
what is the saying? It's like mistakes are really just lessons,
Yes.
depending on how you look at it. Absolutely. Whether it's simply, oh, we forgot to order this decal or the decal's the wrong size, you have to really know to pivot and just take action and don't stress or mourn on it. It's really just taking action to figuring out you need to hire a brand ambassador for support or an Uber courier. Just make it happen and get it done. But yes, every trip or every event, I like to really be thoughtful with myself and my team or the client and say, hey, these are our learnings. This is what we loved. This is what we could have improved on, and then use it for next time.
How about trends you're seeing in this space now that you've kind of been in the
Mhm.
brand activations? Or anything that you're excited about that you're seeing more brands doing or any trends that you're looking forward to?
Definitely. I think two things that come to mind is really tying in food, as you've seen it, like for example, Rode using food in all of their marketing or campaigns and their
Yes.
photo shoots. So that's a really big trend right now, which I personally love because I have such a love for food and CPG. So that's been really cool to see, like a beauty brand use butter. Like, who would have thought of that? And it's really cool because it makes you feel it ties your senses into the campaign. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah.
And then secondly, is community over influencers or talent. I think that's a huge trend right now. I've seen a ton of brands create community events or community trips versus just influencer events. So really having an opportunity for their community who really loves and adores their products and is a customer to their products, being able to have these really cool special experiences. And then that's why, honestly, the Heart of Hype Girl Club has really evolved and taken off, is because it is for a community.
Yeah, I've also really started to notice that. I feel like obviously we're still seeing the influencer
Of course,
brandships,
yeah,
and
there's
those
so
are
much value there.
exactly. But it is really cool for brands to also want to invest in the everyday consumer that's there buying their brand and building community there. And we talked about ChatGPT, which we do love. We love AI. However, I also am a big believer that the more ubiquitous AI becomes, the more of a need for community we'll have. Just because as we start to like be more online, we're also going to still crave those connections. And so I love it when I see brands that are really investing in that community aspect as well. Yeah, which is so fun. Okay, so we've chatted all through kind of to where you are now. You're now doing your own thing within Mason Market. Anything that you are, I know obviously launching is something that you're super excited for. We talked about some trends that you're excited for, but anything else on the horizon for you, Sam?
So one other fun project that my best friend from college, so we've been friends for over 11 years, we started a page called Booked With Us. So it's BOOKD, Booked With Us. And it really came to life from our passion of health and wellness. And so we have been reviewing studios all across LA, like workout studios, whether it's Pilates or private members clubs. So that's something that's new, and it's been so fun.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea you were
to
doing
see
this.
the growth of it. And the best part is it's truly just so organic. Like we're having the most fun doing it. And so it's really being your LA tour guides. And our goal is to grow this to all major cities and just being your tour guide. Like, where do you, like, hey, I'm visiting LA, like, where should we go? Like, we got you. We know the ins and outs, all of our favorite spots for all of your workouts.
Okay, well, tell me, what are some of your favorite spots in LA?
Oh, there's so many. So I'm on the west side, but Open is one of my favorites. Hume is incredible. Pilates Cave is another one.
Is it in a cave?
Plank House. You would think. It feels like a cave when you're in there, actually.
Okay.
So honestly, there's so many amazing studios, and there's more and more studios opening here in LA. So it's so cool to see that growth happening with wellness on the move, and the growth is just so crazy.
What are some of your personal wellness habits?
The list. What is this? The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
Yeah. So it's really setting the tone for me is I have to move my body every day. Like I have to fill up my cup before I'm getting into the craziness of my day when I'm have meetings stacked back to back. So even if it's a 5-10 minute walk or a meditation and doing box breathing, whatever that is, I have to just make sure I make it happen so I can show up my best self for everyone. I love hot Pilates and I love weights. A sauna is my go-to, and walking.
I love that. I am also very religious about my walking in the morning routine. It has been such an unlock for me and feeling so much better throughout my day. And then also you accomplish something before you start your day, which you have no idea how your day could go. So I have also really, really become addicted to that. Now I have an Aura ring.
Same.
And yep.
How do you like it?
I really love it. I was so hesitant and didn't want to get it because I was like, I don't want to be obsessive about my sleep and overthink it, but it's just made me so much more mindful of everything.
Me too. I'm like obsessed with the sleep tracker too.
Yes, I got great
I have
sleep
to not
last
obsess.
night. But it's good because you're like, oh, I had a drink today and I slept bad, and
it tracks it. That's the craziest part.
Yes.
It's impressive.
Or for me, just being like when I'm sleeping poorly, it'll tell me like, oh, I'm like about to start my period or something. And me being to be like less anxious, like, okay, that's why I'm having bad sleep and not me like crazy overthinking it. So
yeah, Aura, we love you. Is this a plug for
literally,
them?
yeah, what's actually
Maybe
an
they should
ad?
sponsor us.
Actually, this isn't
Coming soon.
But I think it just ties into the whole wellness of just
Mhm.
really being mindful of your body and what you're
Mhm.
doing. And especially, you're just like sharing this massive list of things that you're working on. I do not know how you're doing all of it, but I think the best way to avoid getting burnout when you are working really hard is to make sure that those things become non negotiables in your life. Because the minute you start saying, I'm too busy to work out, I'm too busy to go outside, I'm too busy to eat healthy, that's when you will slowly start to just like end up crashing.
Exactly. And health is truly the most important thing that we have. And without that, nothing else matters. So it's making sure that everything you do comes back to that.
Mhm.
And health and time and energy are our most precious resources. So
Yeah.
what can you do to really feel that energy and fill yourself up and feel good? And from there you can really show up your best self for everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Sam. Well, thinking back to 2 years ago when you first
Hmm.
came on Marketing Girly, and you and I were 2 years younger and
How
on
cute of
Zoom. I
us.
know, how cute of us. What do you think, looking back, how do you feel like you've grown personally? Or is there something like a big takeaway or something maybe that you feel differently now than you did back then 2 years ago?
Mhm. The biggest thing is showing up even when you're not fully ready and trusting yourself and really showing up, and everything always, it sounds so cliche, but everything really does end up working out. It really does. And just being clear on your why, because that's what's really going to motivate you and fill you up and give you energy even on those hard days when you want to quit and you're questioning everything in your why, like why am I doing this? And those bad thoughts creep in. It's just remembering your why and having that as a compass for what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Beautifully said, Sam. Well,
Thank
thank you so
you.
much for coming on Marketing Girly.
I
This has
can't
been so
believe
much
it's
fun
ending.
catching up.
I could keep going for
Let's keep.
another hour. Well, this is a
Amazing.
tradition now.
I
I need
know.
to see you here in 2 years.
Every 2 years, you're coming out. I'm
Yep.
coming out to LA and
I'll
you're
add it
coming
to my
here.
calendar now.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Natalie, so much. This was so fun.